Hello and welcome back to the ARK of E podcast. My name is Noah.
And my name is Gav.
And we're the Blanchard brothers. And it is that special time of year. It's time for our Oscar predictions. But we're changing things up a little bit.
Yes, we are.
Because somebody just had a little nifty idea. My brother surprised me with actual ballots for a change. He's not going to be scratching things down furiously. You know, possibly tinkering with the results.
Yeah.
Mr. Price Waterhouse over here. Cooper. Whatever. Anyways, so.
La La Land. Oh, it's Moonlight.
Huge mistake. That was you, right?
Yeah.
That was your fault.
Mm-hmm.
I thought so. Yeah, okay. So, everybody knows the rules. But, so what we're going to do in lieu of actually saying on mic what we picked, we're going to mark them down. We've got our ballots hidden from each other. But we're going to talk through the categories.
Yeah.
So you, the listener, can play along. This is based on, like, my cursory listening of many different film podcasts. And, you know, some places that talk about, like, the Gold Derby odds and et cetera. And just looking at what's won thus far and the general temperature based on what I'm feeling / hoping for. So
one question I have up top. It's been 95 years of this.
Yeah.
And
the 95th
I'm wondering,
Academy Awards.
And maybe you know this from your history.
Brought to you by ABC.
Yes,
what?
American Broadcast Company. Has there ever been a lead female that was of Asian origin to win a Best Actress?
Not that I'm aware of.
Me neither. I'm not thinking. I mean, I can think of memorable performances where people are like, "This was great," but like, you know, it's like it was a long horse.
I don't think that's happened.
Yeah, or so much for like an Asian male to be in some kind of supporting or lead role either, right? So I can appreciate that part of it. Took us 95 years, but you know, we got there. We figured it out. You know, I think this is the most inclusive, you could say, that I think I've seen as far as like across the board ballots go, as far as everybody being represented. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's more inclusive years than this, but still.
There's some notable exemptions, which we can get into. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Yeah. You want to just, you know, throw a dart and pick a category? I mean,
I figured we could just jump around some of the lesser ones. Not that it's not less. I mean, some of these ones are like the workman categories. I
like these columns as they're kind of constructed.
Yeah.
So we'll say, column A, B, or C.
Mm-hmm.
Just you pick that, and then I'll pick the number.
Okay. I'm gonna go column C.
Column C.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go with number 4. We're starting with sound.
For outstanding achievement in sound,
the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front,
Avatar, The Way of Water,
The Batman,
Elvis,
Top Gun Maverick.
And we'll take the ceremonial picking of the...
Well, no we got to talk about the category. Obviously...
Elvis, obviously, for the music.
I mean, we're talking about why it's nominated.
Well, yeah.
All Quiet is the only nominee that I have not seen. Is available on Netflix.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
I mean, that was kind of the biggest surprise overall as we go through these categories, but a lot of representation for that Netflix film that I have not watched. But, curious, because, you know, I don't know what people's home sound setups are. I find a nice pair of studio headphones, like, just plugged into your PS4.
Mm-hmm.
If the interface is designed for it, like, if you're watching a Blu-ray usually, or if you're watching, like, Amazon and usually Netflix, if it has, like, the surround sound built in, you usually get a pretty good effect. I have not watched that one yet, notably. So... usually I don't like to go in blind in terms of a pick, so I'm probably going to avoid that one. But you're saying good.
I did watch it. I remember having to read this in school, and I remember it was one of those that was like, okay, well, this is obviously a different side. I mean, one, it's World War I, and I feel like that doesn't get a giant representation on screen, but here it is, and it's full bore, like it's money's there. It's not some like there's a lot of like cheap war movies that are made, and it's a lot of CG, a lot of green screen. But this is I feel you can put it up right up there with your Saving Private Ryan's, your Pearl Harbor's, your like just more accurate, whatever. Year 1912? Yeah.
1917.
1918.
17.
Yeah. That one, I blew me away in the theaters. We talked about how it kind of fizzles out on
It's
returns.
an experience movie.
And
it's not necessarily a ride you can take over and over again.
I mean,
unlike some other rides that are nominated this year.
And I wouldn't say like, oh, you should definitely. They should have put this out in theaters. Like it would have, it could have made a lot of money in theaters because it's it's a novel adaptation. So there's all that going into it. But
I guess I was just surprised.
But there's other things in here that I feel
was
like
such a
could
big
probably.
showing.
But there's other things for sound that I definitely think.
I mean, obviously, on a technical level, Avatar and Top Gun Maverick, I think, are going to be the ones that are kind of duking it out through most of these.
Mm-hmm.
I secretly hope that Elvis is not some sort of dark horse that comes in and like takes some of the split vote energy from those two. But who knows? Maybe I'm totally off base and it's all going to be all quiet. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go with column B, and you pick a number 1 through 7, or you can't pick the
number
8th
7.
one because
number 8.
One is in reserve.
All right. Well, let's keep with sound and let's go number 6.
Okay, that would be original score, and we're going to go ahead and pair this up with original song. But the category opening original score, and the nominees are
All Quiet on the Western Front,
Babylon,
The Banshees of Ed Sheeran,
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once,
and The Fabelmans.
Nice.
By S. Morgenstern.
By S. Morgenstern. Yeah.
And you just want to go ahead and do original song right after
Secretly not written by Tony Kushner. It's actually S. Morgenstern.
Who's really Peter Falk.
Yes. Back from the grave.
Yes.
Okay. Not a year where I'm like, oh, that was like of these that I'm seeing on the list. I'm like, where was the banger score, man? I mean, is Fabelman's John Williams? I'm assuming.
Gotta be.
Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, who actually did the music? I'm not sure.
Me neither.
And it's such a. I mean, it's not. There's so much other stuff going on in that movie that I'm like, yes, it's an element, but there's so many other. I mean, not to harp on it from the get-go, but that's one where I'm like, why is that not in sound?
Right.
Incredible sound design.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like I don't know. I don't know what makes the distinction there. I guess the Guild didn't nominate it. So, I guess I did really like the score in Babylon. And then once again, I haven't seen All Quiet. What's the vibe on All Quiet? Is it kind of sparse?
It's like, I don't know. It's not necessarily sparse, but it's one of those where like I could see why the sound you would put it over sound as opposed to score, because the way that everything's all like wrapped together. I didn't really notice the score. At times I was like, oh yeah, like you can faintly get it in certain like ticks where you're supposed to hit emotional beats, but for all intents and purposes, I would have been fine with just the mise en scène of what was going on there. So again, that's why I think like I could see why it would be nominated for sound, but again, original score. I mean, I don't know of another one you could come up with, but definitely you could. That's probably the weakest on the list for original score. I guess I'm saying
none of these nominees are ones that I'm like throwing on my Spotify.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I'm trying to think of what scores really were this year that like stood out for me.
Do you remember a kid in my class?
I like the Giacchino score for the Batman.
Yeah,
that was good.
Really
yeah, effective.
You could replace the Batman.
I think that's Giacchino, right? I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember a kid in my class that graduated with named John Aldrich?
Yeah. I mean, by name,
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pick him out of a lineup.
Scores were his thing, man. Like that, he just like fucking. He didn't care about soundtracks. He just bought the score to like every movie.
Yeah.
If he heard us talking about a movie or he asked about a movie, like you could bet the kid went home and got the score somehow. So props to him, man. I don't know what that kid's doing these days, but
I don't know. Let us know if you're listening somehow.
Yeah.
Let's transition right into original song, and the nominees are. Oh, I'm kicking it off?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. I kicked the last one.
Short thing. Okay. Applause from Tell It Like a Woman.
Hold my hand. From Top Gun. It's not that one though. It's not the Hootie and the Blowfish one. It's from Top Gun.
Lady Gaga, I believe.
Yes.
Lift Me Up from Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
No. Not two from
Not two from
Not Two.
RRR.
I don't know what RRR is.
That is the Tollywood film that everybody was very disappointed is not nominated for Best Foreign Language and also did not sneak in to Best Picture. So this is its lone nomination that is available on Netflix. I have not watched it. It is a 3.5 hour action comedy spectacular, and I heard it's amazing.
So, do they give it the love for the song? Oh, good. Do the last one.
This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. That is Mr. David Byrne from the Talking Heads.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe he's won an Academy Award, and you know he would be on his way to like EGOT status, I believe, if he takes it. So there's that storyline, just to give you context.
Yeah. But I wonder if they give it to the other one.
I like your
the
instinct
dark horse of like, you know,
with RRR.
Yeah. If everybody's mad that they don't get nominated, give it to them for the one thing they get nominated with. So.
All right. Your turn. Pick a column.
Column
A, B, or C.
B.
Okay. Let's get spicy. Number 4.
Okay. If you're following along at home, this is the abc.com Oscars 95 play along ballot. Column B will be the column that starts with.
This is kind. I mean, we could have made this some weird form of Jeopardy, but you know,
it's a.
We're trying to keep it random.
What's the category? What number did you say again?
I know this is very confusing.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe we can speed this up.
What's the number?
International feature film. I wanted to hit a big one.
The nominees for international feature film are All Quiet on the Western Front,
Argentina, 1985.
Close.
Yo. It's about a donkey.
The Quiet Girl. She's really mousy and no one knows what she's all about, what she's thinking.
We can breeze right over this.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
I was going to
Cha-ching.
say.
Although Argentina 1985, I feel like the trailer I watched, you could see it from that, but yeah.
That is available on Amazon Prime.
It sure is.
I believe EO is exclusively streaming on Mubi. And that's all I got for you. And All Quiet's on Netflix. We already said that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any of these, but it seems pretty obvious. The movie that's nominated everywhere, including Best Feature, it's a given at this point. If an international feature is nominated in both categories, and it makes the crossover to Best Picture, it's going to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a foregone conclusion. I will say some notable exemptions here. I mean, the biggest one is Decision to Leave from Park Chan-wook, which was my number 4 favorite film of last year, and is absolutely incredible. Actually, my number 5, excuse me. But
and see, this is the thing that bugs me.
What's that?
The number one, the one we're not allowed to talk about right now. There are 2, 4, 6, 8. There are 10 nominations. There's no more other nominations on the rest of these for anything else. Is that a thing? Just Best Picture gets up to 10, or do all these categories get up to 10? They just don't choose up to 10 because they don't care enough. Or is this like the top 5 or 6 based off of like early vote? I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, agreed, because essentially you can look at what's nominated for Best Picture and basically then immediately go and look at its relative number of nominations, but specifically you want to go look at what's up for Best Director.
Right.
Those are the 5 movies that are actually in competition.
Right.
Like the idea that something would win and not have a Best Director nomination is insane. Like, I think it's pretty unprecedented. But they've also gotten into the habit of splitting. Best Director doesn't necessarily get the Best Picture.
Right.
It doesn't always happen that way.
Well, it's not the whole. It's like you do the best with whatever movie you get. I mean, sometimes you make.
Exactly.
Sometimes you make Crash. Sometimes you make Titanic. I mean, it just depends on.
Sometimes you're. I don't know if we can say convicted rapist yet, but I don't know.
Is that
Paul Haggis? Oh, it's rough.
Yikes.
It's rough. Go take a Wikipedia deep dive sometime.
Somewhere Joe Carnahan's like, see, you fuckers are worried about the wrong goddamn guy. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, how about from now on, instead of doing the category thing, you just have to say what category in your Oscar voice.
Oh yeah.
The nominees
get to pick the next one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Sure.
The nominees for animated short film are.
Oh, now I have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's try it again.
we will figure this out.
Les nominees de short film. No, I'm sorry. Animated short film. The nominees are.
The Boy, The Mole, The Fox, and The Horse.
The Flying Sailor.
Ice Merchants.
My Year of Dicks.
An ostrich told me the world is fake, and I think I believe it.
I'm picking that one just on category, just on the name alone. But I will tell you, I did have a tough year with dicks.
Let's go ahead and knock out. We'll go right down to
live action
short film, and the nominees are
An Irish Goodbye,
Evalue,
Le Pupil,
Night Ride,
Red Suitcase. I don't mean anything by the name, like how I pronounce these things. It's just a fun way to pick.
These are always blind picks for us. No, I will say, Sunshine Mayfield makes a habit of watching as many of the nominees as he possibly can across all of the categories, but specifically, he always does the short films every year. So if you follow him at Mr. it's.
You know what would be interesting?
It's Mayfield JA, on Instagram, which is where you can see his recent ratings of all of these, and he probably has a better feel for the category. So
since
that out.
Everything's going streaming, what if the Academy of Arts and Sciences had their own streaming thing, and they only had the rights to things that it won? Obviously they could share rights, but they're paying for things that won, right? So those are always available under the Academy Awards thing. But then every year, this is how you can see them a week before. Yes, they've been in theaters. Summer, it's still in theater runs, but you, the studio, have to agree to license these on digital for the Academy of Arts and Sciences to let you, for them to stream it. So then maybe there's not such a big push by studios to be here's $100 million. Vote for my movie, because there's a huge campaign around nominations. It would be more fueled by I feel more people actually paying attention as opposed to who do they want to push to the front. And everybody will pay $9 for the month of February and March, and then they'll turn it off and turn it back on next year. And I just hope they catch a couple people who have it on autopay. Just forget about it. Same way Planet Fitness does. Okay. So do you want me to just pick the next category? Is that what we're doing?
Sure.
Okay. The nominees for achievement in film editing are
The Banshees of Inisherin,
Elvis,
Everything Everywhere All at Once,
Top
Gun Maverick.
New rule. You have to say Top Gun Maverick every time it's nominated.
I mean, to me, there's one clear winner here.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm very scared that they'll make some stupid, not obvious decision. But yeah, there's one clear winner. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's just the movie is made in the editing. Mm-hmm. The whole vibe is the editing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So don't be a dummy. Pick that one.
Yeah.
If I had to pick a second, I mean, Top Gun Maverick's right there.
Oh yeah,
incredible on all the technical fronts. But
he's in the plane. He's flying the goddamn plane
that's what I'm
himself.
saying. And if we're building towards the kind of night I hope it's going to have, this is a key category where I'm like, everything everywhere should logically win here. If it doesn't, that's where I start to get a little nervous.
Right.
Is what I'm saying. It's just one of those categories. But yeah, good crop this year as far as what's up. Banshees being nominated is interesting. Not a flashily edited
Right,
movie,
there's not. Yeah,
but
the pacing and like all that, and
it's a different.
it's a different.
Same thing with Tar, which is a slow, brooding build of a movie. So, yes, okay. Let's go ahead and do. Let's do the docs. Let's hit the docs.
The nominees for documentary feature film are
All That Breathes,
All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
Sorry for the delay. My computer was in sleep mode. That's not the name of the feature film.
What it was, though?
It is, in fact, Fire of Love.
A House Made of Splinters? You don't know how to
Navalny. I was trying to put a Russian on it. Navalny.
The traitor Navalny, who speaks out against...
In Soviet Russia, we say Navalny.
In Soviet Russia, we say traitor pig dog. Hang him.
We say psycho. Yeah. Psycho shit. I was like, I know nothing about the man. I know vaguely the story, but yes. I'll say to you, Fire of Love is available on Disney Plus. All That Breathes, I believe, is on HBO Max. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed is the one I've heard the most about coming out of the festival circuit, and I don't believe it's available anywhere to easily check out. Navalny, I think, is also on HBO Max.
Yeah, it is.
And House Made of Splinters is the one that I know kind of nothing about.
It's a documentary about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. House of Splinters. Made of Splinters. It's a Teenage Mutant TMNT doc. Don't worry. It's probably going to rack up. Don't worry. That's my dark horse candidate.
Fire of Love sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's about like a man and a woman who both loved researching volcanoes and basically like made it their life together, and they spend most of their time like just chilling out near active volcanoes.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a Grizzly Man thing, and then they died in a volcano.
No, I'm pretty sure they're still doing it. They probably will eventually die doing it, but yeah. Okay, and the nominees for documentary short film are
The Elephant Whispers,
Haul Out,
How Do You Measure a Year,
The Martha Mitchell Effect,
Stranger at the Gate.
Yeah. Once again, blind picks.
Fucking
I know
blind.
nothing.
I can't even abcap this because like
I don't even know if there's like a cool title. You know what I mean?
I mean, Stranger at the Gate seems kind of neat.
Sounds very like a billion movies could be called that.
Yeah, like Enemy at the Gate, Stranger at the Gate.
All right. Yep. Just going blind here.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do not recommend you do this for any government or presidential election of
Make sure you don't do this when you're doing your taxes either. Where it's just like
that looks right.
One of 5 options. I'm sure.
Oh my God! Can you imagine if your taxes was multiple choice? Yes.
Choose the one that best applies to you. To what degree? On a scale of 1 to 10,
They all just say,
how sure are you about this
They
information?
should just say, if you scored less than 100, standard deduction. Over 100, let's talk.
Okay.
All right. The nominees for visual effects are
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Avatar, The Way of Water,
The Batman.
Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Top Gun Maverick.
I've I hope we made it to where I haven't yet to be able to say that, because it's gonna be funny if I ever get to. I tell you that much.
So here's what encompasses the visual effects, I guess is my question. Because, like, obviously, all of these movies, I don't mean to be mean, all of these movies, save Wakanda Forever, pretty incredible to look at. And Wakanda Forever has incredible sequences in it. But some of the digital imagery, maybe not as well integrated.
I think
But what I'm saying.
That's it.
Is visual effects like encompassing everything now in the same way that sound, we used to have mixing and editing, and now it's just one thing?
I
But
think
visual effects is...
I think it's one of those where it's like, can you tell? Like, if you can't tell, you're golden. But if you can tell, maybe you don't get as much notice. Because, I mean, honestly, we know Avatar's on there because it's Avatar. We know it's not real. We know it's a whole made-up thing. But we also know he shot a shit ton of it underwater. So we have to, like, I mean, you kind of got to put him on the list. But, like, with the Batman, I could think of, like, the car chase scene. A couple digital shots there, maybe the water coming in at the end, maybe. But for the most part, if there's a heavy effect shot in it, I don't notice it, and that's what I appreciate. It's like, did you ever watch it's on HBO, not HBO, it's on Disney Plus, but the whole, like, 7-8 part doc about ILM, and how, like, once they figured out how to do, the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park, how they just seamlessly tried to, like, integrate it to where, like, you could not tell the difference between what you were watching. You thought it looked like it had been shot on celluloid. That was their goal, was like, you can't, to not see, the man holding the string, you know what I mean? And so I think when you get to that level, I'm sure there's probably a couple things in Top Gun that are digital, but for the most part, I feel it and I see it when it's like, okay, there's screens inside those cockpits. Or no, they're actually shooting out of the cockpit into what you would normally see, It's when it gets integrated like that, I think that's when you start to get, kind of push forward amongst other things. So, yes, anyway.
Let's stay in the visual medium. The nominees for Best Cinematography are...
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Bardo, False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths.
Elvis.
Empire of Light.
Ta.
Okay. So, I haven't seen Empire of Light. It is on HBO Max if anybody wants to checks it out.
Checks it out, bro. Checks it out.
I just, I didn't hear good things. And Sam Mendes is one of those where it's just like, if he's going to miss, he's going to miss pretty big for me.
What is it even about?
It's like I guess vaguely it's his, like, I love movies too. Here's my
bootleg
love letter to film in the year that a bunch of people are doing that as well. But kind of not. Olivia Colman's the lead in it. Anyways. But it's shot by the Deacons. I mean, so that's why it's nominated.
Yeah.
But notably, I'm like, why the fuck is Everything Everywhere All at Once not in cinematography? Like, what are we doing here? Yeah. And also, where the fuck is Top Gun Maverick?
Yeah.
Where is it? I don't know. And obviously, like, Bardo, I think that's Chivo. Or maybe, no, it's not Chivo. That's his usual guy. But I think it's Darius Kanji, who's incredible, and I do love.
I don't even know what that is.
Bardo is Inarritu's latest one. The guy who did Birdman and The Revenant.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
it's on Netflix. Yeah.
It's all one shot?
No.
Oh, no, I don't care.
I mean, neither was Birdman. But
it felt like it was, though.
I mean, yeah, but...
Yeah, I know it wasn't. It's no 1917. What
okay, I'm just saying. So it's a weird one where I'm like, I don't know. Are they gonna go for flash? Or are they gonna go for depth? Are they are they just gonna hand it to a name? Because I don't know. This is a category I don't feel great about this year in terms of the nominees. I feel like there should be a whole other, like, again, I think if I'm picking some of the more visually compelling movies, Eternal Daughter should be up here.
Mm-hmm.
The Batman should be up here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other visually I mean, fucking not represented anywhere on here, but like I think The Northman has more compelling cinematography, more dynamic cinematography. You talk about the fucking volcano fight at the end, like
production design at least. If you're not gonna do cinematography,
I think they're a really really strange group of nominees this year. But again, that's the like, you know, the cinematography guild or whatever, you know.
Right.
This
That's
is
why I
who
have a question about
this is who they
directing. That's
narrowed
weird.
it down to, you know.
Yeah, that's why I have a weird thing about the directing when we get there.
Okay.
Let's see. We can finish this off. The nominees for animated feature film are
Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio,
Marcel the Shell with Shoes On,
Puss in Boots: The Last Wish,
The Sea Beast,
Turning Red. Have you seen any of these, Gab?
Nope.
Not a one.
Not a
Nary
one.
a one.
Nope. And if you know my affinity for our Lord and Savior Cthulhu, Noah, you know exactly which one I'm picking in this.
Oh, the Sea Beast?
Yes.
I heard it was good. And it's your boy, I think.
Who?
Jerry Butler.
I got a lot.
I think.
I got a lot of boys.
I think it's
got
Jerry
the
Butler.
boy.
I think
Okay.
it's Jerry Butler doing the voice.
We're going to talk about Jerry
I
Butler
could be wrong
soon.
on that. I don't know.
Don't worry. We're going to have a long discussion about Jerry Butler soon.
Oh, we are?
Oh, yeah. In the next thing we're doing with the games thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, are you planning on something you didn't tell me about?
Yeah. Dukes called, and him and Jerry are in town, and they'd like to get together.
Okay. So, I've only seen one of these, which is available on Netflix, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yes.
It's stop motion. It's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. It's a passion project.
I think it's
I hope
gonna
they give
take
it to
it.
him.
I think it's gonna take it. But you can also watch the Sea Beast on Netflix. I think Puss in Boots still in theaters, but I think it's already like rentable. And I hear it's like the best of the entire Shrek franchise. Like, yeah, people are actually really, really hot on it. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. I remember. I mean, I've seen the YouTube shorts and stuff from over the years, but I missed the movie when it came out. I have not corrected that. And Turning Red is on Disney Plus. That's the lone Pixar nominee this year. So a nice varied field. It would have been cool to see Wendell and Wild make it on here. Henry Selick's latest one, but you know, it's a good year for animation, I think, from what I'm seeing here. I need to catch up with a lot of these. What do you want to do next? We can
I say we jump costume, hair, makeup. We finish with production. We hit the writing, and then we get to the meat and potatoes of why we're actually here.
All right, costume design. The nominees are
Babylon. Sorry.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever,
Elvis. I'm not gonna say it like Elvis anymore.
fucking shit. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
Miss Harris goes to Paris.
Mrs.
Harris goes to Paris.
Get it right, dude.
Hey, I'm not gonna
Don't
judge.
misidentify Mrs. Harris. Okay?
She could be on the run and doesn't want people to know that her husband doesn't want her husband to know where she's going. So it could just be Miss Harris. We don't know these things.
I didn't see it.
Me neither.
And I didn't catch that one.
Me neither.
Costume design. You know, the instinct is, you know, what's the oldest? What's the most period driven?
Babylon.
Well, when is Mrs. Harris going to Paris though? Like what era of?
Didn't see it.
Is it like Paris high fashion? You know, is it a fashion movie? Is that what it is? Is one of them fashion pictures?
Let me ask you.
One of them.
While we're on this, I need to ask you: did you listen to Mark Maron and Tim Blake Nelson?
Of course, I listened to it day one.
You were fucking great in that wheelchair picture. I laughed so hard out loud in my own car with nobody around me. It was amazing.
Sorry, what was that in reference to?
Tim Blake Nelson's talking about how, like, on the set of Lincoln, Hal Holbrook shows up to like talk to Daniel Day-Lewis, and Spielberg jumps in, like, "Oh, the president would like you to
the wheelchair picture though.
He says,
no, what is
no, he says Mr. Lincoln would like you to, address every member of the cabinet by their real titles, like trying to politely be like, he's in character, don't fuck with him. And Hal Holbrook's like, I got it, but you were fucking great in that wheelchair picture, like my left foot.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I couldn't remember him calling it a wheelchair picture. I thought it was another punchline. Sorry.
Yeah.
I remember the moment though. Okay, I'm sorry. I was so curious. I'm sure our listeners are as well. A widowed cleaning lady.
She has no husband. She could be
in 1950s London falls madly in love with a couture Dior dress and decides that she must have one of her own. The whole movie's about the dress. That's why I was like, dude, no, we got. I mean, look at this cover. This just looks like. I mean, come on.
It's the only nomination here for it. It's probably the smart play.
I'm just.
If we got good at this with football, we could actually turn this into
But did anybody? But the other thing is, did anybody watch it?
Probably not.
Just because the guild nominated, But that's what I'm saying. So people are.
But if the guild's nominated, it means
to think
that
about.
people in the industry are watching. All right, so let's jump to hair and makeup.
And the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front,
The Batman,
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever,
Elvis,
The Whale. They really gonna give him they gonna give those fat suit people an award? Is that what we're doing here? Is that what we're doing?
I don't know. I think you give it to Robert Pattinson just for the Bruce Wayne look alone. But that's just me. I mean,
you do remember there was a gentleman named Colin Farrell who most people did not know was in the movie.
I'm saying you give it to him just for that alone.
This is a good year though. Normally there's like makeup and hairstyling. It's like sometimes there's like 3 nominees and you're like, oh, that one.
Yeah.
The one where they made Christian Bale look like Dick Cheney. Okay.
Right.
Like, you
mean the one where they made Sam?
I'm just saying, man. Like
they made Sam look like George W. Yeah, Sam Rockwell. Yeah.
This is a tough one, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like it could really go.
I mean, you think of like it's Baz, so you think Elvis, and you're like, that's crazy wild. Some of them, Tom Hanks,
Tom Hanks looks like garbage.
Exactly.
Like garbage.
Took a lot of work to make him look like garbage, I'm sure. But then you got the design and the hairstyle, the makeup of Austin Butler. But then again, everything about All Quiet on the Western Front's like, okay, well, it's here for that too. So it's obvious a lot of people liked it. Maybe it's just Netflix paying as much as they can to be the one that gets another movie to win an Oscar because they're real mad that Coda won over them.
I'm like, guys, yeah, you thought you were gonna do it. All of their other Oscar plays like fell flat on their face this year for the most part. It's crazy.
If I'm not,
that's why I was shocked that it like snuck in at the end here. But.
Right. That's what it's going to your point you made a couple of I don't know how many episodes ago it was, but you basically like you burst everybody's bubble about Netflix is basically just like, we don't give a shit about you and your favorite show. We're gonna like just we're gonna be focused on international release. Like we could really care less about how you feel. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so yeah, it just proves the point because if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
not the Grammys, but it's starting to feel like
it's a German film. It's crazy.
I know it's a German film.
Yeah, it serves your point as I'm saying. You're right.
They can make movies too, Gavin.
They were our biggest friends, even
Gavin, they're allowed to. They invented German expressionism, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, I think they're responsible for it.
I don't know if I'm allowed to like German expressionism, except
the first thing they teach you.
Yeah,
did you skip that class?
Right.
Okay, seriously, let's knock this out. Okay, we got one more lone
production design. And the nominees for production design
All
are
Quiet on the fucking Western Front once again. Sorry.
Avatar, The Way of Water,
Babylon.
motherfucking Elvis,
La Fabamans.
Le Mans du Feba,
La Fama. La Fable des Mans.
or Why I Love to Start Making Movies, and I Do Love
24 Frames of Love.
Invitation.
How I became the greatest director of all time with very little struggle or strife. How
I
I
met
was
John
great
Ford
from
one
the very
time.
fucking get-go. How I just innately just killed it. Just went out there and just fucking killed it. There's no dramatic tension. It's just like kid really liked movies, innately knew what to do, and then did it. Good for him.
Why don't we make it? But we do a shot for shot remake, but instead of back then, it's now, and it's literally a kid watching like YouTube or like a Netflix movie, and it's like, I think I'm gonna do it, and then it turns into be like, like the greatest director of all time.
Who knows? Who knows? Okay, let's talk about them writers. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Fucking writers, man. Always.
You want to go original or adapted?
Everybody's a goddamn writer at Starbucks with their laptops trying to get famous. The nominees for adapted screenplay are
I'm so sick. It's like how people felt about The Return of the King. I'm so sick of saying it. All Quiet on the Western Front.
You just make it you haven't seen it.
I am. Maybe I would be excited about it being up for this much stuff.
Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery.
Living.
Top Gun Maverick.
Okay, I was going to say, finally you. Yes. And Brendan Riley's worst nightmare. Women talking.
Yikes. Sheesh. Where is it adapted from? Like, I don't get where you would adapt Top Gun from. Was it
That is the rule now with any sequel.
That
is why Knives Out. It's like he's writing another original screenplay, but because the Benoit Blanc character
already exists. Okay, that makes sense.
It is technically adapted from a previous. The rules are weird, but that's why that's.
Yeah, I mean, I get like All Quiet on the Western Front. It was a goddamn book. All right, that's fine. I don't know if Women Talking was a book or not, but that makes sense now. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yes, Women Talking was a book.
I was gonna say, they shut up long enough to write a book, Jesus! But that was not a joke I was planning to make or wanting to make, so that's why I just said it off the cuff, and I don't mean it. Please send all your hate mail to thearkofe@gmail.com.
Original screenplay. The nominees are
The Banshees of Ed Sheeran,
Everything Everywhere All at Once,
and The Fabelmans.
Tar.
Triangle of Sadness.
First time we've said it. You seem pretty confident and quick on that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
But you're not going to tell me.
No, I can't tell you. I mean, all these deserve it. I mean, you got a Martin McDonagh original. It's a pairing of two guys that people loved, which for a movie I've never seen. Back at it again. You got two kids just throwing everything they can at the fucking wall and seeing what sticks. And goddamn, is it one of the best movies I've seen in the past 10 years. You got Spielberg reminiscing on just how fucking great he was from the get-go, like we were saying. Just like, hey, my name's Steve. I make movies. Bam. Dick on the table. I mean, what's not to like? You got Tar. I mean, that dude needs to be making... I don't know if he wrote it, but like the dude that made it, he needs to be making more shit. But also don't make more shit. Like, do your thing. Take 10 years. Just make a couple more before you die.
Did you watch it on Peacock?
I did watch it on Peacock. Yeah, pretty good.
It's time to do the Tar episode.
Yeah.
Because I just rewatched it.
Okay.
Just got it on.
And I have no idea what the hell Triangle of Sadness is about.
It's a Eat the Rich movie from Ruben Östlund.
Okay. I kind of thought it was like about like the Golden Triangle, like the
no, it's a satirical dark comedy with lots of
you can't even be rich these days.
Lots of bodily humor, a lot A lot of shitting and throwing up on a sailboat. A lot of gross stuff.
Well, this party really died. All right.
Okay. We're getting there.
The nominees for actress in a supporting role are
The Queen, Angela Bassett, Black Panther.
I don't want you. How do we pronounce this name? Hong Chow?
Yeah.
Hong Chow for The Whale.
Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin.
The one and the only. Miss Jamie Lee Curtis. Everything. Everywhere. All at once.
Miss Stephanie Sue. Also from Everything. Everywhere. All at once. We did talk about the SAGs in advance. And then notably, I mean, the BAFTAs are going to BAFTA. But Carrie Condon, who I did love in Banshees, took it over there.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I haven't seen The Whale. Still have not watched it.
I need to watch it before they broadcast at least.
But I feel pretty confident in my pick here, even though I could end up being wrong. We'll come back to this one. Very interesting category. Very interesting category. Very happy to see Stephanie Sue also get the nomination, because in a lot of the precursors, some of them were just doing Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's like, it's kind of cool that they're literally all four leads, or all four principal characters in that movie are all nominated. What?
I get, anytime I think of her, I just think about fucking hot dog fingers. It's just so fucking stupid. But it's the funny. It's the hardest I've ever laughed. I laughed my hardest in it.
I'll have to get you some hot dog fingers.
When she just comes in and she's playing the piano with her toes, because she can't play it with hot dog fingers. Oh my god.
Movie magic, man.
Yeah, man.
Movie magic.
All right.
The nominees for Best Actor in a Supporting Role are
Mr. Brendan Gleeson, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway.
Jed Hirsch, the Fableman.
I still don't know if we've totally nailed down how we're saying this. Barry Keoghan.
Kyung?
Barry Keoghan
Kyun?
for The Banshees of Inisherin.
Ki-Ho Kwan. Everything. Everywhere.
I've never
all at once
felt more confident about a pick, maybe in all 3-4 years of doing this. If it doesn't happen, we're done. We shut down the network, the site, everything. We're done.
You shake on it?
Yeah. With our left hands.
You're left-handed, so it means more to you. I'm not.
If he doesn't win, we shut it down. Okay. We shut it all down. I'm going to
close the door up. We close the door. We turn the light off. We never go back in.
I'll tell the Bending Not Breaking boys, I'm like, guys, sorry. I know it's your final season. We're done. We're done.
Like, you know how Fox just kind of shuts off shows halfway through the season? Yeah, you guys just got Foxed. We're done.
It's over.
Pulling the plug. You can buy me out, or you can just go home and cry. I don't care.
You want your episodes?
Want your episodes?
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
But I'm done.
You want your IP?
I'm fucking done.
Now listen, when we come back and he does, you need to go into, the show goes on. I'm not leaving.
No, that's what I would do if inevitably, like, if the worst comes to worst, he didn't actually win, then I would have to be like, you know what? I'm not fucking leaving. Okay. All right.
The nominees for actress in a leading role.
Kate Blanchett, Tar.
Ana de Armas, Blonde.
Andrea Riseborough, to Leslie.
And Michelle Williams, The Fableman.
Michelle Yeoh, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've never been so conflicted in my life with this category.
Tell me about it. I mean, we're talking about two...
fucking 3 powerhouse performances as far as I'm concerned. Did you see 2, Leslie?
No, I did not.
Oh my god, dude.
When did you watch it? What's it on?
I rented it.
On Prime?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me.
Well, I didn't rent it on. I'm renting it under Bex's account at her house. Yeah.
It was good.
Oh my God, yes.
And we do love Andrea Riseborough. I mean,
I do love Mark Maron, and they're both in a movie.
Have you seen Sword of Trust yet?
I need to watch it.
I brought it up so many times.
I need to watch it, yeah. Especially with how much he talked about in the last special. I definitely got to watch it.
Just go watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So, and you know the controversy over the Andrea Riseborough thing. Obviously, I think that slightly hurts her chances overall. But whatever.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like
I think
I mean, she can.
I think
hold
we're
her
down
own.
to 2 here, and I mean, really. I mean, you've seen Tar now. It's fucking. I mean,
yeah.
What else did you? What else do we expect? I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, that's yeah. It's like, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great, impeccable, like technically perfect.
Yeah.
Great. Academy Award written all over it. But I'm sitting here and I'm going, but
the kid in you that loves movies.
Again, I talked about it. The way I can't believe how emotional I got just watching like Michelle Yeoh become Michelle Yeoh again.
Yes.
And I was just like, ah! And so we're not telling each other, but I'm going with my heart instead of my head,
yeah.
and I think maybe some other people will
and
too.
that's the thing. We don't have a baked in like childhood like thing for Cate Blanchett. You know, you could argue maybe a little bit with like the Lord of the Rings, but we don't have that with like fucking Super Cop, fucking Tomorrow Never Dies.
Just rewatched Super Cop like 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
I got that 8-pack that you gave me.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, there's so much baked into that you're just like, that's why I'm saying I'm so torn, because it's like there's at least I
Here's the thing.
see Blonde or
in some of her in some of her precursor wins, Cate Blanchett literally was like talking in her acceptance speech about how great Andrea Riseborough was, for instance. Cate Blanchett's already won twice, and you're just kind of like, she has the energy of like, I don't need it for this, like, you know,
I
it's
did
no
this in
big
my
deal.
sleep.
I don't care. So I'm like, yeah, in that case, like, maybe there is a shot. Maybe it's not as like sewn up as we thought it was.
I hope so.
We shall see.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a late, like, you know, release December 31st.
Why did we do that?
What?
Why didn't we save actress till second to last? I meant to do that.
I thought we were going to read they do it. They do actor, then they do director, then they do picture, right? Or just picture.
Sometimes they flip the genders or whatever. I feel like this year they will make that actress the second to last award.
I hope so.
I think you'll get directing before that, because I think they know that's going to be a big moment either way.
They do directing, do your supporting, do your actor, actress, best picture.
Well, supporting is usually like way earlier in the evening.
See, I thought
they usually do like one day. They play around with the order every year, so it could be totally different. Who knows? Okay. But yeah, okay, so best actor.
In a leading role.
Austin Butler, Elvis, Mama. Mama, I'm nominated for an Oscar, Mama. Mama, we did it.
It's Colin Farrell.
Mama, we made it.
Hi, it's Colin Farrell for the Banshees of Inisherin.
Mama, I'm up against Colin Farrell. And I'm also up against Brendan Fraser for the whale, Mama. You see that one? They put him in a fat suit, Mama. They put me in a fat suit too, but you know,
that was my own fat suit, one of my own creation.
I didn't actually,
one full of fried.
I didn't actually
and
go full method, even though I've been trapped in this voice forever. I couldn't bother to fucking put on the goddamn weight. So keep that in mind when you vote for me, people. They did in fact slap some makeup on me because I couldn't be bothered to mess up this perfect physique. You know, I wanted to be the king, but I didn't want to.
Because
I don't want to be the king. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
With my fried peanut butter sandwiches and my opioids and my crazy guns and
There's 2 things you gotta know about me, man. First one, I'm the king. The second one is look out, man.
It's karate, man. Only 2 kinds of people know it: the king and the Chinese. Paul Mescal is also nominated for actress.
Excuse me, Mama. Mama, I almost forgot. I only thought it was appropriate to list my biggest competition, Mr. Colin Farrell and Mr. Brendan Fraser. Literally my biggest competition. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But yeah, this is young Irishman. Mr. Paul Mescal for After Song. He is good. I don't know. I ain't never seen him. And finally, Mr. Bill Knightley. Excuse me. Hold on, Mama. Oh, Mama, this one's tricky. Mama, Mama, I'm so sorry. Hold on, Mama. Mama, I think Bill Nighy for living. Yeah, that's the last one. But Mama, I tell you the truth. I tell you the truth. I like some of these other boys. They're good, but Mama, I sure would love to win that there Academy Award. I certainly would. Get that gold, man, up on the mantelpiece. Make you proud of me, Mama. I'll get you that Oscar. Mama, I'm gonna get you that Oscar.
Nah, her name was something dumber than that. Tex. Yeah, Tex, that was it, yeah. Why don't you do voiceover work? That was fucking gold. I fucking turned my mic down. I didn't want to be picked up.
I'm just trying to illustrate that it ain't that fucking hard to fucking do a voice for just a little bit of time. Call me Baz if you need somebody for the sequel. Because it didn't really die, man. You see what I'm saying? He went down to a retirement home. He's working with JFK right now. They getting that bubble hotel.
And of course, I want to ask you the question that's on everyone's mind. How is Elvis, and have you seen him lately? That's my worst Larry King impression. I'm sorry.
How is Elvis, and have you seen him lately?
I did watch Afterlife.
After Sun?
No, after Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, of course. Duh. What other Afterlife would I be talking about?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Fucking. I know you gave me shit about nostalgia, but I loved it, man. I cried at the end. Not really. I didn't cry. I was just sad that they had to have Ghost Egon. It's like you couldn't get it together before Harold Ramis died. Come on.
No, they couldn't. They couldn't do it. Okay, we've got to wrap this up. We got 2 categories left.
The nominees for Best Directing are Achievement in Directing.
Weird that they don't have their names. To be honest, it is kind of weird. But we do know them.
It's not about the person, though.
For the Banshees,
about the movie.
For the Banshees of Inisherin and Mr. Martin McDonagh.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is the one thing I was wondering. The DGA puts these out. How are they allowed? Is it just because they're the Daniels? Because famously,
it's just Daniels, by the way. There's
Daniels.
no "the" at the front of the title.
Yeah,
of the
Daniels. So it's just Daniels. That's what it goes by. Because famously, our boy isn't in the DGA because he let Quentin Tarantino direct a scene.
I think.
So I don't know if they've amended that rule. Or what.
I think pairs have been amended because of 2 very important brothers.
Yeah.
Their names are Joel and Ethan. I literally think that's what it is.
I know one of them's a complete hack. His brother told everyone. You should read it.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't. What
I gave you that thing. There's a whole I think Joel did a whole write up on how his brother's been sucking on his teeth the entire time. He's been a hack. He's been pulling him along his entire career. Oh, okay. He hasn't done anything with
Joel wrote this because that seems like something that Ethan would write about Joel the other way around. Ethan's the funnier one.
Maybe
the more dry
sense. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah. It came out around the last time they did the. And it was after Buster Scruggs went up. Yeah, I was curious because I noticed that and I was
I don't know what the rule is on pairs now. Yeah. I'm trying to think the last time there was a duo nominated outside of them.
Yeah, it's got to be a first. That's why I had the hope for it, because I appreciate everybody else on this list. We can keep going. Obviously, we know who directed The Fabelmans. The second thing that tears me on this list that I'm torn between is obviously Todd Field for Tar, and then I don't give a damn about Triangle of Sadness. I don't know who directed it. I don't really care.
I have yet to see it still. by all accounts, I keep hearing it's the least of the Ruben Östlund movies. Now, Force Majeure, which is the one of his I have seen, is like one of the best movies ever made. It's incredible.
Okay.
But I've heard Triangle of Sadness is good, but not great. Notably, I mean, there's no women nominated here. There's only one female director who has a film nominated for Best Picture. So it's kind of like, couldn't fucking put Sarah Polley up here. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Again,
McDonough makes sense to me. Todd Field obviously makes sense to me. Again, I hate to, be the fucking stinker in the room, but like, I'm sorry. The Fabelmans was just okay. It was not life-changing for me personally. It does seem like like an industry sort of movie where it's like everybody seems to be like, oh, it's Steven and it's a personal story and blah blah blah. And it's like it's more an acknowledgement
Yeah, but we
of
did
him
this
than
with
it
Schindler's
is.
List. Like, you did this already.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, does he need another one? And regardless, he's not gonna win. Like, he's not gonna win from this field.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you. It's to me it's between Daniels and Todd Field.
Me too, and that's why I'm torn.
I'm
I don't
torn
know
as
which.
well, and I'm
Because
literally
I would
coin
love for either
tossing.
one. Yeah, yeah. If we're gonna have one of those where it's like you could go either or, we'll pick one.
And
one.
again,
If either one of those goes, I feel like we can.
Martin
count it as a
McDonough,
win.
a director who I like quite a bit, and who I've had varying feeling. Like, I like Three Billboards, but there's aspects of it where I was kind of like, yeah, but I don't know if that was my favorite thing you've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And Banshees is very much, I'm like, this is everything I like about what he does, distilled perfectly.
Right.
And so I'm like, yeah, I'm glad he's nominated there too. But, yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think it's between the two we mentioned.
Yeah.
All right, the big gun, and then we can wrap it up. Our 10 nominees for Best Picture are, say it one more time because I'm not going to fucking do it.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Avatar, The Way of Water.
Let's say this one together, brother.
The Banshees of Inisherin.
You can go ahead with this one.
Oh, Mama, did I mention this? Not only am I up for the best actor, Mama was nominated for Best Picture. I tell you who we nominated for Best Picture. Elvis is nominated.
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
La Fabamans.
And a Fableman.
Yeah, it's your fable.
It's a Fableman. It's a lovely story about a little kid named Steven learning all about
Little
movies.
Stevie Spielberg.
Little Stevie Spielberg learns all about movies. From John Ford.
Lydia Tarr. You cannot start without me.
Ta.
You want to do it? You want to do it in unison?
Yeah. Let's do it in unison. 1, 2, 3.
Top Gun Maverick.
Triangle of Sadness.
And once again,
Women
I've been waiting
talking.
to.
Women talking.
I've yet to do the
Women
joke
been
to his.
talking.
Yeah.
Talking about. It should have been called the Bechtel test.
Again, I just like Brendan Riley's worst. That I would love the quote, like the blurb on the poster to be Brendan Riley's worst nightmare.
Brendan Riley presents
The
his
quote
worst
is
nightmare.
the quote is from me, but that's the quote as if it's a pull quote. Brendan
Just out
Riley's
of the-
worst nightmare. Women talking. I mean, I gotta say, I'm not. Again, I haven't seen Triangle of Sadness. Haven't seen All Quiet. I have yet to catch Women Talking. It's still a $20 rental, unfortunately. But
Gotta make a decision.
oh, I feel pretty comfortable with my pick here, considering how everything has gone. I feel pretty comfortable, but that's also not always a great space to be in. But it's been the favorite for quite a while. Usually that's not a good sign. Usually that you don't want it to be tipped too early.
Which is what? What's the favorite?
Everything Everywhere All at Once
Yeah,
has been
that's what I'm scared
the
of.
favorite for a while. There was this energy that it was going to be the Fabelmans, like right before the Fabelmans dropped, and I'm like, who is even considering that in the top 5 at this point? I hope nobody.
And then
But
you're like,
again,
oh my God, there's 10 picks.
notably, again, Spielberg is nominated, so it's like, I guess Fabelmans is in the top 5, possibly, but I don't know. But as much as I want to see everything everywhere all at once, take it. Would I be just as happy if like the Academy like does something interesting and like, hey, let's give it to the fucking movie that saved movies, like,
yeah,
and it would be kind of badass if like the whole night like Maverick does nothing, no technicals, no nothing, and then it's just like last minute he's on stage because he's a fucking producer and he's just like, thanks guys, have a great night.
Dead Reckoning in theaters later this year. Thanks, guys.
Then
I jumped off a fucking
rocket
mountain.
packs.
I fucking jumped off a mountain 7 times for you people.
Yes.
So remember that.
I'm just saying, like, that would be like a wild twist that
Yeah.
I wouldn't even be mad about, kind of thing.
I
You
can
know what I'm
agree.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, truly, the only thing I would be upset with, like, all of a sudden coming in, is if all of a sudden people go with the stale, boring fucking choice of the Fabelmans.
I told you.
We gotta get over this Spielberg bias. I get, like, the
It's
guy.
not Spielberg. It's themselves. They love themselves so much they picked La La Land over fucking Moonlight.
But they didn't.
They did. That's what I'm saying. They didn't. But the people who read it out, who love themselves and love Hollywood, they fucking read La La Land. But the people who were actually like picking it said, no, it's Moonlight.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite moments of all time because I love it when people come up like instant karma, instant comeuppance. La La Land, not that great of a movie.
What's the over under on a slap-esque event?
What?
I said, what's the over under on a slap-esque event happening during this broadcast? And if it happens, who do you think it'll be, and what do you want to see?
I want to see
what random event involving a nominee that will be the zeitgeisty moment of this award show. Because I feel like the ratings might be up a little bit this year. Because like people that there are movies that people have actually seen are nominated, but also because there is going to be that thing in the back of everybody's head where it's like,
who's hosting?
Crazy shit might happen. I think it's Kimmel.
Kimmel?
Yeah.
Kimmel,
remember,
Kimmel,
Chris Rock was not hosting.
No,
He was just presenting that award.
But who was hosting that night?
Kimmel, I think.
He hosted all the time?
Huh?
He's hosted...
Or no, who was... I don't remember. I wasn't watching that broadcast. I turned it on, saw that, and was like, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it's Kimmel for this one.
I don't know, man. I think the moment okay, here's the thing. This is the moment I want. Just because. I don't want it, but like this would be a slap-esque event would be somebody else other than Brendan Fraser wins and he flips the fucking table and walks out and is done with movies for the rest of his life. Like that's the Oscar moment right there. You know what I mean? Like that.
He's been kind, cuddly,
and nice,
empathetic. So, everybody.
I want a fucking fatso!
Everybody loves Brendan Fraser, and yeah, he just like that. That would be it. If you suddenly realize like it was all for show,
right? But then actually, it's I'm not there, like thing where it's like, oh, his entire career he's been this dude. I'm still here. I'm not there. Whatever. Yes. You were never really there. That's deja vu. Weird. Anyway, but yeah, that's the whole bit. Is like he's flipping out. It's like, oh, this is the real Brendan, the one no one ever sees. Why? He's been trying to make it in Hollywood for years, and finally he gets the approval of his peers, but it gets cut down right at the end. What does he do? He fucking loses it. Because I honestly think that is exactly what happened at the Oscars last year. Some people, no matter what, can just not, they self-sabotage and they can't be happy. It was like, it was palpitating in the air. People knew, hey man, King Richard.
Oh, he was moments. I mean, we're talking literally, he was like a half hour, 45 minutes away from like everything being fine.
And instead of going into the bathroom and throwing some water in your face, maybe throwing up, what do? You get up and slap your friend.
Or going backstage and like, if you really want to lay hands on it. I'm not, again, we already debated this whole thing. Shouldn't have happened in the first place. But again, the complete lack of presence of mind to just like, they're broadcasting this shit, dude. There's a lot of cameras here. You know this shit goes out on television, correct?
Also, what if he's like, okay, I'm gonna lay my sword down. You guys, you need your ratings up. I'm gonna do you a favor. Watch this, and that's it. I guarantee you, this Oscars cast this year will have more views than last year. People tuning in just to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
All thanks to Will Smith.
Yeah, I'm sure they're gonna write him a big check.
Probably not. I don't. Well, 10 years he's not allowed to come back. I would love it if they had a shot of him just kind of.
We are now.
Kimmel just cuts to the outside. He's just kind of standing outside the theater looking around.
Wait,
see if he can get back in.
We're keeping.
Yeah, no,
we're
you
keeping
keep
our
yours.
ballots.
I'll keep mine.
That's right.
We can see that everything has been. You can see through here, can't you? Everything has been filled. You can show me the back of yours. We filled out everything.
Yes.
Yes. So we will keep these separate.
Okay.
I don't think we explained how we're doing this. Oh, we just said we had ballots. So now Noah and I are going to keep our prospective ballots with ourselves. The other, since we didn't write it down like we always do, we don't know who's picked what.
Yes, and when we reconvene post Oscars,
Yeah.
we will reveal them to each other in real time, and we'll find out who won. Because normally, we already knew what we picked going in.
Right.
So we know on the night who won or lost.
Right.
But yeah.
But we tried to stray away from that now.
Yes.
Obviously, there was some ones where like, yeah, duh.
So hopefully this is a more fun-ish way to do it.
Yeah.
And again, we've if you want to hear what we thought about some of these movies more in depth, go back to our year-end list where we covered a lot of these.
Now, what are we doing for the Razzies?
Jack shit. Fuck the Razzies, dude. They tried to nominate like a little girl or something this year, and people were like, come on, guys. And they were like, hey, sorry, we fucked up.
What movie was it?
I'm trying to think.
I know what you're talking about. She's like a nice, sweet little girl, like nothing wrong.
Yeah, it was like a horror film. Oh, it was the girl from Firestarter.
Yeah,
The little girl
Razzies.
from Firestarter. They tried to be like worst actress of the year, and it's like, dude, that's a kid. You like, you guys suck to begin with, but like, you can't do that shit. That's just mean, dude. You can't do that to a little kid.
If anything, you make it Efron.
Sure, but again, I'm just
not
like
a child.
It's like people already like think you guys are complete trash, but it's just like that was a new low, and they rescinded it. They were like, "Yeah, that was in really poor taste." They're like, "Your whole fucking thing is in poor taste, dude. Just end it.
Yeah,
Who needs it?" Okay, are we done?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The predictions have been set. The Oscars airs, as this ballot is reminding me, it's live Sunday, March 12th, 8 p.m. Eastern, only on ABC. And presumably like Hulu the next day,
probably.
I assume. Maybe you'll be able to stream it on Hulu as it's happening.
I think you can. If you have a live TV thing, you can.
Yes, obviously that you'll be able to do, which is ridiculously expensive and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But that is an option. It's basically like paying for cable. Okay. We'll see you on the other side, and we'll talk to you very soon with an episode I'm pretty excited to record, which we're about to do very, very soon. Thank you for joining us for the ARK of E podcast. I've been Noah.
And I have been Gavin.
And we've been the Blanchard brothers. And Mama, thanks for listening.
Good luck, Fablemans. We'll see you in the pictures. That's terrible. I don't know why I said that. That's the dumbest thing I could have said. Hey, we didn't talk about one thing, though. I do appreciate it. Have you watched Causeway? Did you see Brian Tyler Henry?
I don't have Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. I wasn't a big... Well, I watched... Well, a little bit I watched I really enjoyed of him, and I fell asleep. And I'm just kind of on J-Lo, Jennifer Lawrence. I could see why she didn't get nominated.
You just couldn't let the king have the last word, huh? The king was gonna wrap it up nice and smooth, baby. Gonna leave the building, leave the pod.
I can't understand a fucking thing he said. Bye.